Welcome back to Vikes with Mike. Tyler, glad to be with you here on this 420.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Before we get into anything else here, before I get too funny with the jokes of the day or anything like that, um, just now, literally 15 minutes ago, maybe not even, the George Floyd, uh, Derek Chauvin verdict was made for the people of the world, and he was found guilty on all three charges. And there will be obviously sentencing in 2 months, so that is yet to come. But I just wanted to make sure that I said something and took the time to say that anybody watching this, we care about you. You are validated. You are loved. Nobody should ever feel afraid to be who they are, to look the way they look or anything like that. Prejudices should never be tolerated. This is a really great step in the right direction, but there needs to be a lot more that comes after this for sure. So we'll hold ourselves accountable, and we ask you to hold us accountable and those around you, and just make the world better for those around us as much as possible. Especially when things like this happen, where you get to see kind of that light of humanity, and really the
Yep.
love that's happening in the community right now based off the verdict that just happened. So our condolences, our deepest condolences to the Floyd family. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Um, and yeah, we're just thankful to live in a time like this where things seem to be finally moving in the right direction. Tyler, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to say.
Oh no, just I'm happy. It was
Yeah,
the right thing.
absolutely. Um, but moving on, we are here to talk football and to talk about some good stuff, some fun stuff. Um, we have a lot of great content coming for you guys in the next half week and next week being draft week. So we're super stoked about that. Me and Tyler actually just had a conversation about it before we started
Yeah.
recording. Just to give you a kind of a sneak peek, little preview of what's going to be happening. We'll be doing a first round mock today with a twist. We'll get to that in a second. Thursday will be another first round mock. It will not have any sort of twist. We will be coming to you with our own versions of what we believe is going to happen on draft day, kind of our solidified picks per se. And then Tuesday we'll be coming to you with, well, who knows really, maybe some draft coverage on some trades and signings. For sure, we'll have draft coverage on players that we are locked in on and really rooting for the Vikings to pick. So that's a for sure on Tuesday. And then we may or may not have something special planned for Thursday that will be decided and is yet to come. We'll definitely let you guys know as those plans develop. But yeah, today, Tyler, super
Yep.
stoked about what we got going on. So we're doing a first round mock, but with a twist. Basically, we're going to keep our picks realistic, but it's probably going to be a completely different board than anything you've ever seen. So
Yep.
what basically kind of just testing the limits of what can realistically happen Thursday night of next week. What are we going to see that would shock the world? What would be the most shocking yet plausible first round? So super stoked about that. Me and Tyler already took the initiative and flipped the coin. So Tyler will be taking the evens. I will be taking the odds, and we'll just go right down the line here. Anything you want to say before we get started, Tyler?
No, man, I'm ready to get going. I'm ready. Let's do this.
All righty, buddy. I'm stoked. All right, let's get it started then. With pick number 1. So I don't think, to be completely honest with you, that there is any board that exists that doesn't have Trevor Lawrence going first.
Yeah.
Even this board
Yep.
does not
Yep.
have
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence going first. So Trevor Lawrence goes number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wish I could have fun with this one, but let's be honest. I mean, we just lose all credibility if we said anything about that.
There just can't be a mock draft in 2021 without Trevor Lawrence being the number 1 pick.
No,
That's just
exactly.
not a thing.
No.
Really, you'll get canceled. You will get canceled.
Absolutely. But pick 2 through 32, I think this is where the fun begins. So what do we got at number 2, Tyler?
All right. Well, at pick 2, I'm gonna stick with quarterback. I'm not gonna go with Zach Wilson though. I feel like Jets are gonna take him at 2, but I think another viable option for them would actually be Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
I'm gonna throw in a different name. I'm gonna give them Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is still a good quarterback. I mean, he is from Ohio State, which is kind of sketchy, but he's very talented. He's got great legs. The Jets, they're gonna take a quarterback. If you don't, I mean, I would kind of be mad because they traded Sam Darnold. So
right.
It would not make sense to take. With that second pick, you got to try and get generational talent. Right. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I also see Wilson going there at number 2. Yep. But quite honestly, Justin Fields is not out of the conversation for sure. I mean, like, I feel like there's kind of this big smoke screen around him. It's like a bunch of teams decided we're going to make him sound bad so that maybe he falls. But I truly believe that most NFL teams are really high on Justin Fields. So this isn't completely out of the question. And I think it would absolutely shake up the look of draft night. I can tell you this, though, if Zach Wilson falls past number 2, I think he does get swooped up by the Niners. So I will go ahead and give the Niners Zach Wilson. Now, but this is interesting because you now have Trey Lance and Mac Jones on the board still here. So, not too crazy coming out of the gates, kind of what a lot of people are thinking that those 3 quarterbacks will probably be off within the first 3 picks. But there's a lot of talk about, Mac Jones maybe being that 3rd pick. Maybe even Trey Lance. So the fact that both those guys make it out of the top 3 is very interesting.
Yep. All right. Well, we got Atlanta at 4. This is an interesting pick as well, especially with the 3 quarterbacks already being off the board. Mm-hmm. You know what? You say the board's interesting right now. This is probably not what people would expect with the Falcons up, but you know what? I really don't think they could even pass this up realistically. I'm going to give them Kyle Pitts at 4.
Kyle Pitts.
I mean, I think he's still one of the best players in this draft. Top 5, no doubt. I think he's top 3. The Atlanta Falcons actually do need a tight end as well. I could definitely see them going quarterback though if that board didn't go with 3 quarterbacks right off the rip. But I mean, I think Kyle Pitts is just phenomenal. So you're going to take him at 4 for Atlanta. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't do that. I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
I agree with you there. I think Kyle Pitts is the premier player in this draft. I think that he is by far the best, especially for what you're getting like positionally. You hear comments like he's the best receiver in this draft, and he would be even if he didn't have tight end slapped on him. Like he's just the best pure receiver. So that's saying a lot with the wide receiver class that we have here as well. Speaking of wide receivers, here at number 5 with the Bungles, they had Penei Sewell drop to them here, who I think they should take in this situation. However, what's also in the realm of possibility and would also make a lot of sense is reuniting Jamar Chase with his former college quarterback, Joey Burrow. So I got Jamar Chase going to the Bengals in this mock draft here at number 5.
All right. Wow. Well, Miami at 6. It's kind of interesting as well, but I don't know.
Miami has
I
also recently gone on record saying that they may be willing to move again with a trade out of 6. If you haven't seen
yeah,
that report,
I wouldn't be I wouldn't be shocked about that. But
obviously we're not doing trades today, but I just thought I'd mention that.
I'm gonna go with with Chase off the board. I don't feel like any of these. I feel like they really need a receiver, but I don't. I mean, Jalen Waddle's good, but I feel like you can't pass a guy like Sewell if he's gonna fall to Miami. That spot. This team's line. They got a lot of young guys that are talented on that line, but not as good of a player as Penei Sewell is. So I don't feel like they can pass that up if he's falling there at 6.
All righty, I like it. I like Penny Sewell. So you trade out of what was it, number 3, right? That they originally traded
Yep.
out of, and a lot of people had Penny Sewell going to them at number 3 at the beginning of the draft season, and here we are, a little bit over a week away from the draft here, and we have a scenario where they're still getting that player at number 6. Pretty crazy. All right. Pick number 7 with the Detroit Lions. I have the Detroit Lions taking Jalen Waddle over Devonta Smith here at number 7. I think that a lot of teams are higher on Waddle than we really realize, and although I would probably draft Smith if I were the Lions, I don't think that this is necessarily the pure wrong decision, and it's definitely something that's within the realm of possibility.
All right. Yeah, I love Jalen Waddle. I feel like he's kind of got a history with injuries, but I mean, Detroit's going to take a wide receiver, maybe. I mean, they could go any position. Actually, I shouldn't say
They could.
This
They
team
could
can,
absolutely.
This team can go literally any position. They need everything.
Absolutely.
With Carolina at 8, they already got Sam Darnold in that trade, so I feel like Rashawn Slater would low-key be a really good pick for them, but they need a corner badly, like really bad. Is literally crazy. People love this guy.
Sorry, buddy, you kind of cut out there, so I missed it if you said the name.
Oh, I picked J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn.
Corner. Yeah, they need a corner really desperately badly. They don't really have anybody. Defense is not very good in Carolina. But J.C. Horn, a lot of analysts and guys have just been raving about how good he is. I mean, his stock is going crazy right now because I feel like he's ahead of Caleb. I feel like he's ahead of Caleb Farley. I think there's a lot of debate. We could even pick him ahead of Surtain. I mean, it's crazy. So I mean, this draft is kind of supposed to be crazy. So I feel like J.C. Horn would kind of be a good pick to sneak into the top 10 with Carolina, especially them needing a corner really badly.
I dig it. Honestly, I dig it. And I totally would love to see my guy J.C. Horn come off the board within the top 10. I think that this is a great fit for him, to be completely honest, too. A team that actually really could use his skill and that aggressiveness that he has.
Yep.
All righty. Well, here we are at number 9, and the Denver Broncos have a lot of need at the quarterback position here. And, I think that if both of these players drop to Denver, just knowing the way that they like to play their offense, I'm actually going to have them take Mac Jones here at number 9 over Trey Lance. So Trey Lance probably about to drop out of the top 10 picks here. So this will be the first mock draft in a while where I've seen a quarterback drop out of that top 10, but very interesting stuff right here.
Yeah. I mean, Denver desperately needs a quarterback.
Yeah, right.
I love that pick a lot for them. I mean, even Mac Jones. I mean, you got to give him weapons though. So I don't know about the situation in Denver. I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Well,
we got Dallas.
They got Noah Fant and all those guys. I don't hate it. I don't hate the situation.
All right. Well, we got Dallas at 10. I mean, shoot, this team needs defense really badly. but
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go with Rashawn Slater. Change it
Rashawn
up.
Slater.
Yeah, need a tackle. He'll protect Dak Prescott because the injury last year was not fun to watch at all. And I feel like, again, it's another interesting pick.
Absolutely. Very interesting pick. I don't honestly
You're not going to see that in a lot of mocks.
No, you are not going to see that in a lot of mocks, but I totally think that it's within the realm of possibility for sure.
Yep.
Slater is probably at that point maybe second best player on the board in my opinion, behind Devontae Smith. So yeah, I really don't hate that pick at all. I think that helps to definitely secure their quarterback of the future from probably being injured as badly. As much as a sure thing is in the NFL. Alrighty, then you got New York here. New York was hoping that Rashawn Slater fell to them at 11, but they're one of their division rivals snatching them up there. I do see New York going after an offensive lineman though, and I think that's going to happen in the second round. I think that here in the first round, we are going to see an edge rusher come off the board. And I think it's going to be Jalen Phillips at number 11 here. I have Jalen Phillips going to the New York Football Giants. And that's interesting because Pay is still on the board and Away is still on the board. But I like the physical attributes that Phillips holds, and I think that a lot of teams really enjoyed watching him at the combine. So I think his draft stock has gone up way more than we realized. So very in the realm of possibility.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I've seen some of the tape on him, and he's got a little bit of the Bosa's in him.
Yeah.
I feel like, he's a great player. It's just injuries with him, man. It's really just injuries. Like, that's why it's a huge risk, but if you hit on this risk, shoot, he's a really good player. It's just those concussions had in college.
Right.
All right. We got, Philly.
Philly
at 12. Let's see. Yeah. You know what? I hate to do this, but I'm going to go. They need a wide receiver, but I'm going to go with Rashad Bateman at 12. Rashad Bateman, but
you're going to go Rashad Bateman at number 12.
Yeah.
Interesting. Walk me through this here. Why Rashad Bateman before Devontae Smith?
Well, I wanted to be a little creative, one, and two. He's a great player. He's just high. No, I don't see this. This is why I'm making this pick.
Okay, but it's possible. But it's possible.
It's possible.
Okay.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. The Eagles could even trade back again.
Yeah,
it's possible. It's definitely possible. No, I don't see them making it, but it's like it's possible. Like I feel like they could do it.
The Eagles did take Jalen Reagor right before Justin Jefferson last year, so it's definitely within the realm of possibility. Knowing that front office, I don't hate it. The only thing I hate is having to watch Rashad Bateman in green now. That's the only thing I hate about it.
Look, you can change the title of this mock draft to hot take mock draft, in my opinion. This is just bold, and it's a hot take. I don't know. It would be crazy if this felt like this, but
hey, if the draft falls like this, Twitter is going insane right now. Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. So we got the Chargers on the clock with number 13. And they are in desperate need of offensive linemen, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and give them AVT, Elijah Vera Tucker here, staying in California with this team here, coming out of USC, going to the Chargers. The interesting thing about this is the fact that Christian Darrisaw is still on the board here. that they're passing up Christian Darrisaw for Elijah Vera Tucker. Now, granted, the guy can maybe play tackle, probably play as guard. Nah, we don't know really what their bigger need is until we see them on the field. But I think that this is definitely within the realm of possibility and probably a more shocking pick if Darrisaw is still available at 13.
Yeah. Well, I got the Minnesota Vikings at 14. I actually wanted to go AVT, so I'm kind of mad that you made this pick.
Sorry about that, sir.
I feel like Christian Darrisaw is a great player. Man.
Yeah, but I feel like Christian Darrisaw is a very safe pick for the Vikings. Like, I feel like that's something that's probably gonna happen, if anything. You know what I mean?
So does that mean I give? Oh my gosh!
I mean, you can do what you want. You can do what you want. I just thought
there's another player sitting here. There's another playing. But if there's another player sitting here that if he's on the board, the Vikings are taking.
Okay, then take him.
Okay.
If that's how you feel.
I mean, Patrick Surtain and the Minnesota Vikings then.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That is not the player that I thought you were hinting at, to be honest with you.
No, that's him. I mean, shoot, we did get Patrick Peterson, but we're going to take another corner if he's still on the board.
Now, that is a hot take. There are going to be a lot of Vikings fans on the off chance that there are enough Vikings fans listening to
no, I don't like this pick at all.
In your DMs right now.
I don't like this pick at all. I want Darrisaw or Vera Tucker, but this is a hot take draft, so I'm going Surtain, man. And if
it's totally
available, then they're going to do it. I mean,
totally possible.
Zimmer loves his corners. I mean, you see the clip the Justin Jefferson clip. Do you hear what Zimmer says at the beginning of that clip? And what quarter can we get at 25? You've seen that clip. You see that clip 30 times.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Absolutely. Yeah. It's what Zimmer lives and breathes for. Not to mention the fact that the Jeff Gladney situation, and then on top of that, the other big thing, we hired Alabama's defensive backs coach.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. All righty. Well, moving on to number 15 here with the New England Patriots, we're going to snatch up Devontae Smith. He has fallen all the way to 15. Devontae Smith was the player I thought that you were hinting at with the Minnesota Vikings. He's the only player in my book, to be completely honest with you, that if he's on the board at 14, I want them to stay at 14 and not trade back. So that's pretty crazy. I mean, I could definitely see obviously them going quarterback here, but I think that you've signed Cam Newton. You give him a really solid weapon, arguably top 2 wide receivers in this draft. And you kind of just see where this goes from here. I could also see New England probably trading up in a draft situation like this, where a guy like Trey Lance and Mac Jones fell as far as they did. So, very interesting. What do you got with Arizona, my guy?
All right, we got Arizona here at 16. Let's see. I mean, I don't have the corner on the board for them here. I feel like Micah is the best pick with Mike Parsons. I feel like he's a good player still. The team obviously needs a corner really badly, but I thought they could use somebody at linebacker for sure.
I have Micah Parsons as the best player on my board at the moment, so I definitely don't hate that pick by any means. I do think that in this situation, though, based on like what's available on the board, I could definitely see them going like Christian Barmore, maybe. But I do not hate the Micah Parsons pick at all. Alrighty. With the Las Vegas Raiders, we got a lot of different options here on the board, but my Raider Nation is very, very happy by the way that this draft has fallen for them, because they are going to end up with Christian Darrisaw, probably the third best tackle, argument for maybe the second, although I will quite honestly wouldn't make it. Um, at number 17, which I think Christian Darrisaw will be far gone by number 17. But that sure's up a massive hole in their offensive line right now, and they have a couple holes. So that's pretty huge for them. What do you got with Miami here?
With Miami at 18, I don't really like the wide receivers. They already got that tackle. I'm gonna go with Jason Away.
Jason Away.
Jason Away, very flexible off the edge. I feel like it could be a good pick.
I mean, could be a great pick.
He's very good. I mean, I know you're huge on him. I'm not as big on him, but I feel like Miami has a lot of talent. I mean, on their roster already. I feel like you had a guy like this who's very talented. So I feel like they need edge anyway. I feel like he's going to go in a starting role next year probably.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's huge. I think that you just gave Miami a day one starter on the defensive line, to be completely honest.
Exactly.
All right, well, here we are at 19 with Washington, and the Bears fans at 20 are going to be very mad with how this pick goes, but Washington's going to scoop up Trey Lance because somehow he fell right into their lap. He's by far the best player available. He probably should have been taken like 9 picks ago, but there he goes. The last of the 5 quarterbacks that we thought for sure were going to go in round 1 have come off the board more than halfway through the first round.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got the Chicago Bears. 20. I want to go wide receiver, but again, I feel like I don't know. Therese Marshall kind of be interesting, but I still feel like that's kind of a reach. I'm actually going to go with Tevin Jenkins, just a solid offensive tackle.
Yeah, I like Tevin Jenkins.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of the safe pick with how the board has fallen for them, but I mean, Tevin Jenkins is a good player. The Bears would kind of be stupid to pass him up.
I honestly agree. I think that kind of at this point, that's really the only thing that makes sense position value wise. Maybe you go for a corner there, but even that's kind of harder to make an argument for. The only corner that you'd probably be able to get at that you can make an argument for is maybe like a Caleb Farley. But
yeah.
All righty, at 21 with the Indianapolis Colts, we have some options here. I think that there are multiple different ways this could go, but the most likely in my mind is wide receiver. And I have a wide receiver that lately has been mocked out of the first round, but I think that there are NFL teams who, like you and me, Tyler, have watched this guy quite a bit and have watched him tear up defenses. I'm going to have them take Rondale Moore out of Purdue here at 21. So going before Elijah Moore out of Mississippi, but
wow.
I don't think it's that hot of a take. I think it's a bit spicy, but not nearly as spicy as it could be.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Tennessee at 22. I feel like they could go corner, but I feel like this team needs defense, and they could also use a wide receiver. You know what? I'm actually going to give them a corner. I'm going to go with Caleb Farley at 22 for them.
All right.
It just makes sense. Their defense isn't very good. I mean, they still need edge, but they need a corner desperately, I think, a little bit more at this point.
So, thoughts on Caleb Farley versus Greg Newsome II?
I feel like Caleb Farley is a little bit more talented. It's just injuries.
Fair enough, man. I
I
quite
think
honestly don't disagree with you. Um, if anything, I think I could see Caleb Farley maybe even dropping farther than 22 just because of injuries, but I think that he has the potential to be a better player.
I feel like that's the same exact thing though with what's his name, Jalen Phillips. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it's kind of a
Yeah.
risky pick, but I mean, if it works out, I
It
mean,
works out
it'll be
big.
good.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
I feel like him and Jalen Phillips are exactly alike. But
In that regard, yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Well, we got the Jets here at number 23. They shocked the world earlier by taking Justin Fields with the second overall pick. So the quarterback spot is sure up. That leaves, maybe an edge rusher, guard, tackle, or a cornerback. So let's see here what's on the board. I am going to go ahead and give these guys Quiddy Pay. Quiddy
okay.
Pay here goes to the New York Jets. I think that's really fantastic value for where they're picking at 23. I could easily see Pay going in, the teens. I know that I've mocked him to the Vikings in the past. Now I'm really more stuck on them going
Yeah.
offensive line, but Quiddy Pay falling all the way to New York there, I think you need to stack him up right there.
Okay. We got Pittsburgh at 24. It's kind of interesting. I feel like offensive line is for sure the pick here, though.
Okay.
And I like Alex Leatherwood. I mean, because he's flexible. He played 2 years of guard at Alabama. He played 2 years of tackle. He's a 4-year starter. I don't see why you wouldn't take him. I mean, especially Pittsburgh. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is basically standing on one leg.
You like Alex Leatherwood like before a guy like Walker Little or something like that?
Yep, I do.
Interesting. I
Yep.
don't hate that pick at all. I'm not too high on Walker Little myself, to be honest with you. I'm much higher on a different Stanford player, and I think we've talked about that in the past. We'll
Yeah.
hear more about that as the week continues. But yeah, I dig that pick for the Steelers. If they're going to keep Roethlisberger around, they need to make sure that he's protected for sure.
Yep.
Alrighty, here, pick number 25 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They already have the franchise quarterback of the future. And here I think they come away with one of the best defensive backs in the draft here. I think they're going to get Trayvon Moehrig, the safety out of TCU, to shore up the backside of their defense. Fantastic positional value. Heck, quite honestly, wouldn't really be mad at the Vikings if they traded back a few spots and ended up picking him in the first round myself.
Yeah, I like that. I love this guy a lot. But I'm sure I feel like he's the best safety in this class, without a doubt.
Yeah, right. What do you got for me with the Browns here?
The Cleveland Browns at 26. I feel it's a no-brainer.
Who was that?
JOK. Notre Dame linebacker.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear any of the reasoning. I think you might have cut out.
I did. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's just a no-brainer. I mean, he's the best linebacker. He's arguably the best linebacker in this class. I mean, he has a build kind of like a corner even. I mean, he's flexible. He can guard slot guys pretty easily. I've seen the tape on him.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. He's very fun to watch. I kind of part of me selfishly hopes. Obviously, there's a ton of guys that you hope kind of selfishly drop, but this is definitely one of those guys that it would be so awesome if he dropped some way into the second round and we were able to trade back in.
Oh man,
I would love to
yeah,
get a guy
that would
like
be
him.
insanely good. Holy, he's a first round talent for sure, in my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. Alrighty, well, with the Baltimore Ravens here, I have them taking a wide receiver, but probably not the wide receiver that you think. Elijah Moore is gonna drop in this draft, and it's because he's coming out of Ole Miss. I have the Baltimore Ravens taking Terrace Marshall Jr. out of LSU here at number 27. So the kid stays in purple and gold, just gets to go to, well, not as nice of a climate as LSU, that's for sure. But I don't hate this pick by any means. And quite honestly, I think that he's not necessarily more of a playmaker, but I feel like he fits a little bit better with the Ravens maybe than Elijah Moore would.
Okay. Yeah. All right. New Orleans at 28. I'm gonna go with Greg Newsome the second. I feel like it's a no-brainer. This team needs a corner desperately. Their defense gets shredded this year. I feel like the Saints in general will get shredded. Their offense will struggle. Their defense will struggle. I think this is the end of the Saints in the last couple of years. I mean, this is where it's gonna go downhill. But Greg Newsome the second, I feel like, is a very good value pick for them. He's a corner from the Big Ten that can play physical. I mean, he's even up there with Caleb Farley, like you said. It's just I like Farley's talent better, not just his injury history is what's holding him back. But Greg Newsome is still a good player. I don't know. I mean, the Big Ten generates a lot of good corners, so I feel like New Orleans is getting a good pick here, especially with the team them needing corner. So
absolutely, no, I don't hate that pick at all. However, I think Green Bay Packer fans are going to be more happy with their pick here. I think they're going to take Nick Bolton, number 29 there. By far the second best linebacker, in my opinion. I know that some people have other thoughts on that as far as Zaven Collins being the next best linebacker after JOK, but I like Nick Bolton. I like the numbers that he put up. I like the athleticism. I think that he can rush on that defensive line a little bit more, to be honest with you. So if Green Bay takes a wide receiver here too, maybe doesn't pass up on Elijah Moore like some of these other teams have, I could absolutely see that. But I just feel like knowing them, this is a more realistic pick than that, although it's still kind of far out.
All right. Well, we got the Buffalo Bills at number 30.
All right.
I'm actually gonna. What 30? Yeah, we're at 30.
Yeah.
But I'm actually gonna go with first running back off the board. Actually, I'm gonna go with Travis Etienne. We're gonna see a running back in the late first round, just like last year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But yeah, I feel like Travis Etienne's a very good running back. He can catch, he can run, he does everything. This team has just a stupid rotation right now with Singletary and Zach Moss. Etienne's going to be the guy finally. Just make your decision, Buffalo. Give Josh Allen a guy who can actually catch too. I mean, and he's freaking fast. I mean, I think he's a 3-year starter at Clemson with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, now he's going to Josh Allen.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge, man. That's pretty huge. I don't hate that pick at all, especially with the offensive line depth that Buffalo has. I think that they could kind of turn it more into not necessarily a full ground and pound because you don't want to get Diggs upset again or anything like that. But, if you have more of a run game, you can take a little bit less stress off that passing game. Think about how much better that passing game is going to get. If you have guys that every once in a while need to come up into the box or something like that, that'd be insane.
Yep.
Well, with the last pick for me in this draft here, I'm going to go ahead and give the Kansas City Chiefs Christian Barmore. Somehow he fell all the way to 31. I don't understand how he's still on the board, to be honest with you. I know that like edge rushers are probably more of a need of theirs, but Christian Barmore is by far the best interior defensive lineman in this draft. He can penetrate the most consistently in this draft, that's for sure. So in that regard, at least you're getting penetration. Otherwise, the other guys at defensive tackle that you're going to be selecting here in the later rounds are not anywhere near as good. So still getting some pressure. I know that there's a lot of Kansas City fans that want to see them go offensive line in the first round. Don't worry. Based off the way that this draft went, you still have guys like Walker Little, Dylan Radins, Samuel Cosme on the board. So you have options to shore up the offensive line in the second round. But yeah, I like that pick a lot. I mean, that's massive value at 31.
I just feel like, I feel like Kansas City is one of those teams that can get away with something like this by taking just the best player available. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to get them the playoffs minimum. Doesn't even matter who's on the freaking football field. But I mean, Barmore is a great player. I mean, the Chiefs are one of the teams though that can just do this and just plug him in. I mean, they don't have like the Chiefs obviously have a whole offensive line, but some of these teams like the Lions and the Jets, they got holes on their whole team. There's no there's nothing. You know what I mean? So I feel like Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes covers up basically a ton of those holes. I mean, their offensive line was massively bad though, but I mean, I feel like they can still get away with it. I mean, they're still good offensive linemen in the second round.
Absolutely. So round us out here with the end of this hot take mock, as you like to call it. What do we got here for the reigning Super Bowl champs?
This one ain't really a hot take for the reigning Super Bowl champs, but I feel like AB isn't going to come back, so let's just give them Elijah Moore.
All right.
give Tom another team that their defense basically fully back next year with that offensive line. So let's just replace Antonio Brown with Elijah Moore.
Wow. You know, I don't hate it in the slightest. I actually really enjoy this pick. I think that this is kind of though where Elijah Moore should be as far as the wide receiver class goes, to be honest with you. You know, like these look like hot takes. These other wide receivers going off the board before him, but I think that if people look back to this draft and we're anywhere close to what happens, a lot of teams are going to be really happy with what they do here. I'm seeing a lot of A's and B's, a couple C's, of course, but you know, a lot higher grading in the back part of the draft than what you normally see. So this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this quite a bit. I'm excited for Thursday when we kind of go at it on our own and come up with what we believe is kind of the definitive first round that's gonna take place on the 29th, what that is really gonna look like. So super stoked for that, and I look forward to seeing you again then, and you know, having everybody listening in for that. But that is all that we have for this week. There isn't really much news to cover other than this, so just a fun little episode. Some draft coverage leading up to the big day here in a little over a week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you tons. Make sure that you check out our other episodes. They are all archived on our website. You can check us out now on YouTube at Vikes with the Mic. What else am I forgetting? Just support us in any way, shape, or form you can, guys. We love to hear from you. So get in contact with us whenever you want. Again, with everything going on today, know that you guys are loved. You guys are validated. We appreciate every single listen, every single click, anything, even if it's only for a couple seconds. So thank you guys so much. And we look forward to seeing you guys in a few more days. Skol.